Hey everybody, it's Emma Lightning, and I have a room to myself now. For whatever reason, well, I mean, there is a reason, but it was pretty abrupt. My roommate has moved out, and she is now staying in a different room, and so I have this whole room to myself now, and so I have this whole extra empty desk, and I've decided to set it up as like a recording space, drawing space, something like that. Maybe it'll motivate me to record and draw a little more, but I was motivated to record tonight because today was not a great day for me. I was feeling pretty low. I look kind of a mess, and the reason I'm wearing a sleeveless shirt in February is because it was like 65 degrees today. It's warm as fuck out there, but anyway, that's not the point of this video. I'm finally getting around to reviewing what I consider, and many consider, I guess, the top 20 most effective PSAs, PIFs, whatever, of all time. Now, what I have done here is I put together my list, and it is mostly public opinion, sort of. I've narrowed my criteria down to three basic essentials. Was there a good message, and is the message clear? So, message. Did it work? That's the most important one. Did people actually pay attention to it? Did people follow it? And number three, sticking factor. How popular was it? Is it quotable? Does it stick in your head for better or for worse? Hopefully for better, because these are supposed to be effective, but some of them are effective in the wrong ways. Who knows? I guess you'll find out. And then I did add a scare factor this time, just because I wanted to have fun with that. So yeah. And so let's start the countdown with number 20.
If I had asked, what does meth do to your brain? Does meth make you hear voices? Or if I asked, can't you just stop doing meth? My mom wouldn't be asking.
Oh God, what did you do? Oh, hold on, please. Honey! Hold still, please. No! Now, this one is definitely probably the most personal choice on the list. Meth Project has a lot of good PSAs, and in my top 10 favorite PSAs video, one of their ads was on there. It was a bathroom, if you remember. And I mentioned that was probably not technically their best ad. This one is from their What Do You Know About Meth Wave, which was directed by Darren Aronofsky, who I think that's how you say his name, who is a film director and obviously does a great job with these. And this one just really, really stuck with me. It always has. I don't know why. Maybe it's the visuals, maybe it's the direction. But like I said, I could put like a lot of Meth Project ads on this list, but then it wouldn't be a very interesting list. So this one in particular, I don't know what it does in terms of steering me away from meth, but what it did do was make the Meth Project stick into my head as something unforgettable, and that's what led me here into reviewing PSAs. So that is why it's on my list. And for scare factor, I'm going to give this one a 7.5 because obvious reasons, probably.
Mate, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought there was time.
He's just pulled out. I don't have time to stop.
Oh, come on, mate. It was a simple mistake.
I don't know if I was going a bit slower.
Please. I've got my boy in the back.
I'm going too fast. I'm sorry.
So I really, really like this one for its cleverness. I love how they do the stopping time. It just makes it all the more tragic because you know what's going to happen, and you know that they're just powerless to stop it. And in a way, that almost makes it kind of the opposite of my number one favorite PSA, which I won't spoil, but that one is like it starts out bad, but you know it's going to get better, and this one you just know it's going to end badly and there's nothing they can do. Well, I mean, there was something they could have done to prevent it. That's the whole message of it. You gotta fucking pay attention. And it's heartbreaking because, of course, the other driver, he had no bad intentions, and I would say it was an accident. But as a certain Canadian workplace safety organization taught us, there are no accidents. So, but this one does do one thing, and it guarantees that I always am a very, very cautious and defensive driver when I do drive because I fucking hate driving, and it's mostly due to PSAs like these. And I'm going to give this one a scare factor of 5 out of 10, mostly because of the anticipation, and anticipation is usually scarier than the actual impact.
Oh no, George is driving. He's too wasted. I should say something, but I could look dumb in front of Monique. Bro, Monique says you're dumb, but if he crashes, I'll have to live with his family.
Puzzle time.
And if he dies, Ghost George will haunt me forever.
Grab a chip. Want a chip?
You know I can't grab your ghost chips.
Go away.
Spoon.
Spacehead.
Bro, Willie, what are you doing, bro?
Oh, I've been internalizing a really complicated situation in my head.
What are you on about?
I don't think you should drive.
Nah.
Nah, you're too drunk, bro. Just crash here.
Yes, crashy. Okay.
Stop a mate from driving drunk. Legend.
Well, once again, this one was on my top 10 favorites list, and I did mention that this was just one of those rare gems, PSAs, that caught on to the general public. It was just that good and that stickable, so it gets a 10 out of 10 for a sticking factor. 0 out of 10 for the scare factor, but that's probably a good thing because this is the one and only comic relief that is going to be on this list, and that's probably part of why I put it on the list, just because we need some laughs in here, and trust me, it's only going to get more horrible from here on out, so I hope you're ready for that. There's not much to say about this one that I haven't already said, so I guess we can move on, and yeah.
How can she forget about it? She can't even sleep. She heard a kid at school say you were a murderer. I don't know what to tell her. How am I supposed to explain that you killed a little boy? I won't ever understand why you had to drive. Not everything's screwed up, isn't it? Well, isn't it? Look at me!
So as with the Meth Project ads, I could have put pretty much every single drinking and driving Rex Lives ad on this list. I did end up narrowing it down to 2 just because I wanted to keep the list, give it variety. And this one is on here because of the sheer simplicity of it. I am just so amazed that they can make such a powerful and impactful ad, and it just really gut punches you, and like the camera doesn't even move. It's just one, it's so simple, but it works so well, and you know, you don't need to be like spoon-fed the information, you know what's going on, you can take it, and showing like how like drinking and driving wrecks lives from different perspectives. I just think it's genius, and this is a perspective you don't see very much. Maybe that's why it stuck with a lot of people. Maybe it's just the sad little girl who is an amazing actress. I don't know what they did to make her cry, but good Lord. And this, I mean, this is how you do simple correctly, but not like that fucking mime ad, which had the audacity to tack drinking and driving Rex Lives on at the end of it. This one is simply done perfectly. And for a scare factor, I'll give it a 6 out of 10, mostly just because it's more haunting. Like, you can't forget the look on her face. It just, so
You're stupid! You're no child of mine!
Mummy, where are you? I don't like being on my own.
Not a word to anyone. This is going to be our little secret.
Sometimes we can't bear to look either. But cruelty to children can be stopped, and with your help, it can be stopped forever. Please support the NSPCC's new Full Stop campaign.
And yeah, here is another one where the visuals are kept minimal and the background audio says it all, but this one ramps it up to 11. Once upon a time, several years ago, in her NSPCC PIF review, Peachy classified this ad as the game changer as far as their ads went, and that's absolutely right. It's very clever the way it's done, and they pull absolutely no punches, but not in an overkill way. Like, they know where to walk that line between it sticks with you and it's overkill, like over, it makes you feel just the right amount of uncomfortable. And for a scare factor, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's horrifying.
Will everyone please take their seats? Very shortly, your row will be divided into units of 3. Do not obstruct the gangways whilst the cages are installed. There is no cause for alarm. These cages are for your protection. Please cooperate with the surgeons. They will remove your teeth and nails. This greatly reduces the incidence of cannibalism. It is in your interest to comply. Eating, sleeping, and defecating may cause some discomfort, but your space allowance complies exactly with government regulations, and you have the satisfaction of knowing that you are part of one of the world's most cost-effective production systems. You have nothing to worry about. This system has been tested on 45 million specimens, with, I might add, your approval. Welcome to the battery.
I just really like this one. Personally, battery farming is not something that I even knew anything about or even really thought about until the first time I saw this ad. And it makes me so sad to see, and it just makes me think about it starts that ball rolling of what other horrible things are happening that we're kind of just letting happen, and we're just kept blissfully unaware of them. This one opens a lot of windows. It really does. It makes me angry in a way, which means it's done its job very well. I think that's what they want to do. And if all it takes for me or for you to help stop the horrible practices of factory farming is to buy some slightly more expensive eggs, then yeah, I'll do whatever I can. And it's just the simple things that you can do, I guess. And this ad is, again, very simple, and I guess that's a theme on this list. For a scare factor, I'll give it a 5 out of 10 just because of it's ominous. I know it was originally played in movie theaters, and so seeing that for the first time, that would be like a 9 and not knowing what's happening. But seeing it on a computer screen, I've seen it a lot of times. It's more ominous than scary.
Goeiedag. Hallo? Ik zou graag een test met je willen doen. Stel, het is nacht en je ligt te slapen. Beneden is er brand uitgebroken omdat je een stand-by-knopje aan hebt laten staan. En de rook gaat meteen naar boven, maar daar merk je helemaal niets van.
Wat moet ik nu doen?
Niets. Je bent al gestikt. En je kind ook.
So this one almost didn't make the list. It seems like kind of a weird choice out of context, but what you have to understand about this one is it's part of a series. I think there were 3 other ads, and they all played out the same way. The guys, they tell the person in the house that they have 2 minutes to escape their house in this fire, and they blindfold them, and so they have to find their way out of the house blindfolded. And there's a rather hilarious one where the mother makes it out and then realizes she forgot her kid, and she doesn't seem, she's just like, oh, so I did. That one makes me laugh. But the point about this one is it really works best if you watch it after the other three, so it's kind of a fake out. And that's when it like hits you with that oh fuck kind of factor I think it was going for, and it's a wake up call. No pun intended. Well, pun intended, but that's me. And so for a scare factor, I'd have to give it a 4. Again, it's for a first time viewing. Like you think you watch the other three and you're like, oh, so this one's gonna play out the same way. Nope, you don't even get a chance. That's a terrifying situation.
At just 5 miles per hour over the 30 miles per hour speed limit, how much further will it take to stop? 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet, 11 feet, 12 feet, 13 feet, 14 feet, 15 feet, 16 feet, 17 feet, 18 feet, 19 feet, 20 feet, 21 feet.
So you might know there are 2 different versions of this one. There's this version where they draw it out, and there's the shorter version which just keeps it concise and says if they've been going 30, they would have stopped here. And that one is good on its own, but I feel like this one is just, in my opinion, it's a little more effective because A, it gives you a number, it gives you like a fact, it tells you exactly the extra distance you'd be saving by going at a certain speed, and by doing that, it really drags out the counting, and it just gives it enough time to sink in, and like it doesn't get tedious like it could, and I appreciate that because again they know where the balance is. It doesn't get tedious, it just kind of like rubs the extra salt in the wound, and you're just like, oh god, how far is it gonna go? Like it doesn't matter how far it's going, it already hit the kid, but you give it time to sink in. God, I think we used to have some really good PIFs, and I hope they can find this kind of thing again soon. And for a scare factor, I guess I'd give this one a 5. It's about like middle of the road, pun intended. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about it.
Shot, get in there.
Okay, that's it. Okay, nice. And
You right with that? Yeah.
Hi, poppy seed loaf, please.
Poppy seed, where is it?
Poppy seed, over there.
What? Oh, poppy seeds are black, idiots.
Oh, can I get that slice? Thick.
Sliced? What did she say? It's okay, I can do it. Oh shit, that's thin.
Now we we have our very first, but not last, tie on the list. I just thought these two were equally good and believable. There are like 4 others, I think, in the WorkSafe series, but I found that these are the most realistic screw-ups, if that makes any sense at all. Maybe it's just me, but I mean, I know it's not just me, otherwise I wouldn't have made a PSA about it, but I completely relate to the feeling of being like the young, new, inexperienced employee who's like too scared to screw up, but also too scared to ask for help because like you don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing. And I can absolutely see myself in this situation. I mean, I'm a cashier, so the worst thing that could happen is like maybe I close the drawer on my fingers or something, but still. And I can also defend the girl in the bakery. Like, she reaches into the machine, and that was kind of stupid. But I can also defend her by saying, like, I know from experience, once you screw up once, the pressure is on in your brain to not screw up again. So you're kind of rushing, and you don't really know what you're doing, and you're just kind of acting on instinct. And yeah, it's just I can picture myself in these situations, and that's it makes me shudder. These I'd probably give. The first one I'd give probably maybe a 6 or a 7, and then the bakery one I'd have to give probably an 8 or 8.5, mostly because of the blood and all. So yeah, they kind of speak for themselves, I think.
What are you drinking? Same again?
Yeah.
No, not for me.
What?
I'm driving.
You don't get pulled. Not on a Sunday.
Get me a half.
Half is what girls drink.
What's the problem here? I've got to get down with Mum's for dinner.
Oh, his mum's for dinner.
Mummy's boy.
Come on, Dave. Just one more.
All right, then get me a pint.
Come on, Dave. Just one more.
This was actually the first Drinking and Driving Works Lives ad that I picked for this list. And I don't know why, but this is the one I always think of when I hear Drinking and Driving Wrecks Lives. This is the ad my mind goes to. Obviously, it's a classic. It's very unique. It's powerful, and it's got that not humorous, but it's got that ironic echo in there that gives it a little bit of a sticking factor. Well, a lot of a sticking factor. And then you show like. You know the truth one with the cowboy, and he says you don't always die from tobacco. This one, I guess it shows you don't always die from drinking and driving, but for some people this might be a fate worse than death.